Kaedric, how's practice day?
I thought we had a pretty good practice today. You know, the conditions were not ideal, so it made throwing the ball tough, but we did a good job battling through.
How you feeling this spring?
Feeling good. Feeling, health obviously has been a big thing for me in the past, so I'm just grateful to be healthy and getting to practice with my guys out there.
What's been the, mental challenge with having to deal with the injuries you had?
Well, when you get injured, everyone wants to be on the field. That's a big thing. As a football player, you want to be on the field. And, you didn't come here to sit on the bench. So the biggest challenge has been, how do you still find a way to impact the team in a positive way without being on the field? So for me, that looked like helping Kaedric out, getting plays, or just keeping B. Brady encouraged, or helping all the newcomers try to learn what it's going to look like. How do we practice here? But the biggest challenge for me is finding a way to positively impact the team.
Are you 100% physically right now, or still kind of getting the feel for it again? Where do you stand?
Yes, sir. I'm right about it 100%. I'm still got the brace on, but I'll be able to take that off after spring.
Gotcha. So you think going into the fall you're going to be brace free, or do you think there's still some value to having that precautionary?
No, I think I'll be brace free.
Gotcha. What goes through your head when you have that injury happen last spring?
Well, I don't want to say I got lucky because no one wants to be injured, but because I had already gone through it 2 years ago, I kind of already had an idea of what it was going to look like. And also, I had a great support system around me. My parents, the coaches here, players here, everyone did a really good job keeping me encouraged. So I knew that when I got injured the second time, I was like, you know what, it's okay. Let me just find a way to impact this team. And that's when I really started trying to pour into the other guys, focus more on them than myself.
I was going to ask you about comparing it to the first one. Did it feel similar? Was the process the same for you?
The process was a little different just because the first time I got it, I got the tendon from my hamstring taken, and the second time it was patella. So I think the second time I was able to walk out of the surgery room, after the surgery was done, I got up and we walked out. So it felt really good the second time. I felt like it was a lot better. There wasn't as much strength that I lost the second time, and it was easier to get the range of motion back as well.
I'm sure that whole rehab process is a grind. Is it easier knowing you've already been through it once, or did that change anything for you?
It was easier knowing that I've been through it once, knowing that I've done it. I could do it again. The hardest part is always getting the full range of motion back. And, you can ask our trainer about that. That is the worst, the absolute worst. I hate that, and I will always hate that. Probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. But outside of that, it's just a grind.
I know you suited up, at least against UTEP last year. I remember was the first time I saw you. How close were you to actually being able to play or to appear in a game last season?
I think I actually appeared in the conference championship. I think I had one carry that game, which it was a big moment for me because the first conference championship we had, I sat on the sideline, and even though I only got in for 4 or 5 plays, it felt good to be able to contribute to the win, on the field in some way.
Was it still sort of iffy at that point? Were you confident going out there in terms of your recovery and where you were at physically at that point?
Yes, sir. I was confident in it. I know the trainers here aren't going to let me go out if I haven't shown that I can handle contact on the knee or handle full speed cuts. So I was very confident that I could play.
What's it like this spring now to be close to 100% and with Kaedric a little bit limited, getting a lot of those kind of first team carries, really being in the mix there?
It's good to just to run with the ones. Kaedric's are in that one spot. When he comes back, he'll be the one back, and I do look forward to competing with him. But it's nice being able to run with the ones. Being out there with my best friend, Eddie. Me and him getting to be in the backfield. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those things that we always talk about living together. It's like, oh man, when we get in the backfield, it's gonna go crazy. So, it's just one of those things where you finally get to see it happen, and good things happen when it happens. So.
You guys are particularly tight. How far does that relationship go back?
So Eddie came in the spring after the COVID year. So he came in that spring, and I remember he DM'd me on Instagram. He was like, "Hey man, I love your videos on Instagram. We should hang out when I get to campus." I was like, "Okay, cool." We came over. I beat him in Madden. I beat him in 2K. I beat him in FIFA. It's not very good video games, so I hope he sees this. And then since then it's been close. That's someone I can confide in. Someone who supported me through the injuries, and I hope that he can confide in me. So yeah, we're really close.
What sort of role do you envision for yourself going into the fall? You mentioned Kaedric's earn that number 1 spot. But what can you bring, or how can you offer maybe a change of pace, or what's your role going to be that you envision?
For me, I want to be able to play a lot. I haven't got to get on the field a lot since I've been here. So my goal is to get on the field, whether that's rotating with Kavorian, change of pace back, third down back for pass pro, special teams, whatever that looks like. I want to find a way to get on the field. So whatever it's going to take to get on the field.
What's the depth like look in the running back room this year? It seems like it's a little bit deeper than.
We're good in the running back room. We're deep in the running back room. We have Rocco. So obviously Rocco from Vandy. He's good. He's coming along. He's picking up things pretty quick. We have Robert. Robert's like almost like lightning in a bottle. He's fast. He's quick. He's a good back. And then Brandon. He's young, but he's got a lot of potential. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do. But yeah, I'm excited about the room. And then, you still have J-Rod there, and J-Rod's like just constant. Every day he's gonna bring it. So yeah, I think this is the deepest the room's been since I've been here, and that's something that we're excited about. Just the competition daily between us.
Kaedric, I wanted to ask you about your faith. I know you put out some videos out there, and just can you talk about that a little bit, or what makes that such an impact on your life?
Yes, sir. So when I gave my life to Christ in 8th grade, it's almost like I'm changed from the inside out, and through adversity, through hard times, I know that that's someone I can always rely on, which is another reason why the second time I got injured, I felt I was stronger in my faith. I wasn't finding my identity in football, I was finding my identity in Christ, and that allowed me to have a firm foundation, on Christ. And everything I do, I want to center it around Christ. Is what I'm doing glorifying Christ? So yeah, that's really the framework of how I try to live my life. And obviously, I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. But that is, when I'm thinking, if I can press pause, I'm like, okay, is this gonna glorify God or not? And then obviously daily have to take time to spend with Him, so I know what His will is for my life, and just what is the best way that I can glorify You in different situations. Because the more time I spend with Christ, the more it becomes like a second nature, where I don't have to press pause. It's just like, oh, let me do this. I know this is what God wants for me. So yes, sir.
You mentioned that a lot of your goal for this year is just wanting to be out there. Has it been tough to go 3 years now into your career and not necessarily have that opportunity? How have you handled that part mentally?
Yeah, it's tough. But as I just kind of mentioned, the first year was tough. I got to play on special teams. I was on punt return, and then I started playing a little bit toward the end of the year. I tore my ACL, and that sucked. So the next year I didn't get to play much. But I found that, and this is something that B. Brady kind of showed me, is the first year I was here, he got injured, and he still found a way to pour into people. He still found a way to pour into Sincere, pour into BJ Daniels. So when I got injured, I was like, you know what, I want to do what he did, because he still found a way to be impactful, even if he wasn't going to be on the field. So I tried to emulate that as best I could. And it's still, like I said, we all come here to play. We don't come here to sit. But it definitely made it easier knowing that I could still have a positive impact in people's lives and still glorify the Lord without getting on the field.
All right, Kaedric, appreciate you.